Welcome back to the Photo Stop Podcast Network, the number one show where law enforcement and first responders go to be informed and entertained 5 days a week. Today we've got political news. Let me check and make sure my audio is good here before we do this. It's good. It's good.
Yep, we're
We have
good.
political news for you guys today. A lot going on. It's intense. There's so much. Things are worse than you thought. That's the title. And it's not a hyperbole. You guys know that I don't do that, right? Like, you guys know I don't try to play the mainstream media game and do these clickbait titles and all the things. Like, I'm just giving you guys the news or my perception as a C- student at best of the news so that you have something else to talk about, so that you're in the know, because most first responders live under a rock and they have nothing else to talk about but the job. And then they try to play the excuse of, well, I don't know. I don't do politics. I don't care. I don't know. It's no, you want to care. You just don't have time to care, and you don't have a trusted source to care from, and you don't trust the media. And I get that. And I don't think you should trust me either. But you can know that my intentions are good. I don't have bad intentions. I'm not trying to get clicks. And you could take what I give you and then do your own research. And then you're in the know. And what does G.I. Joe say? Knowing is half the battle. Anyway, there's a lot of sketch news out there. We've been doing a lot of independent journalism for the last couple of years now for fun. And we're getting pretty good at it. And Deadleg has uncovered some finance stuff that I think is really cool. That they have pulled water from Iowa's farming. But why? What would be the purpose of not allowing Iowa farmers to have full access of water? And I think what we have found is pretty significant. Josh will go over that. But I think the other big news today really is this whole Russia nuclear war sitting off the coast of Florida, Havana, Cuba, this, the brand new submarine and destroyer that they are showcasing through the Atlantic, and the amount of American propaganda to keep you from worrying about it, which maybe that's good, right? Maybe we don't want us to be all scared, and maybe that will escalate things. But I think that there is power in the truth, and I think we deserve, as an American people, to at least have access to that news. Whether the news puts it out mainstream or viral or not is a different story, but I think there should be some access to it. Unfortunately, the only access we have to that is by trusting outside news sources from other countries, which I've done that dirty work for you. We'll go over that. Lighter news, Justin Timberlake gets his, I don't know, is this his first DUI? Can't be his first. I don't know. Josh, you can fact check me on that later on when we get to that. 4th of July is saved. Thank you, God. You guys knew last week I had the big rant on Joey Chestnut not competing at the Nathan's Hot Dog Festival. Well, Netflix has saved the day. I hate to say it. I have boycotted Netflix in the past for some of their child sex stuff, but they kind of redeem themselves by taking it down. It's like one of those, it's like a abusive relationship, right? They smack me around, but then I'm like, maybe they do love me. They apologize. They're on the right track. Anyway, on that same note, they have they're going to put on a live show. Kobayashi versus Joey Chestnut. I'm down for it. I am. And what else? I think that's about it for today's news, right? That's a lot.
We got a bunch that we're gonna skim straight through.
We've got the Biden misinformation, the AI hacks on Biden. Now Jean-Pierre Luc Picard is telling us that all these videos of him just going off into La La Land, like the Normandy one, where he just is like, oh, there's somebody over here, and that woman has to bring him back. I'm not sure if that was Jill or not. And then him trying to leave the stage on that very weird debate that he had, or not a debate, but the Q&A time that he had with Barack Obama. And who was that? Who's Jimmy that sellout? Jimmy Kimmel. God, I cannot stand Jimmy Kimmel anymore. What Jack a Black fucking righteous sellout. What a righteous sellout. But anyway, now Jean-Luc Pierre Picard Luke is telling us that is all edited misinformation, disinformation, and AI misinformation, even though a lot of us saw it live with our own eyes, or what we think is our eyes. Anyway, we've got that to cover. Am I missing anything?
Putin's in North
Already did that.
Korea. Resolution to rescind January 6th. Willie Mays has died at
That's right.
93. Justin Timberlake and women get to be part of the draft.
Oh, yeah. I forgot women be a part. I always forget about the women part. And we're not talking about the WNBA draft either. I'm talking about the war draft. Okay, all that and more brought to you by ghostbed.com/Wolfpack and factormeals.com/Wolfpack50. Kick it off, Joshua.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guns up, giddy up. Welcome to the Feather Style Podcast, Political News Wednesdays. Knowing is half the battle. A lot of people in the live chat today. Elijah K says, morning. Wolfpack Armory Night says, hello, y'all. Fuck around and find out says, guns up, giddy up. Loren says, folk around and find out. That's right. Michael Hendricks, that was the president of Italy that rescued him at the G7. That was, you're right. You're right. The G7, yeah. I'm at work. I want to be sleeping. We got David J. David, I'd love to know what the Navy is doing today to combat this whole Russia sub thing. Michael Hendricks up in the chats, Deadline Media, of course. Will Cray up in here. Heard Will Cray and Bosco got like banned last night on the true crime chats. Somebody take them out of the chats or something?
I know John likes to play with them from time to time, and we'll put them in timeout. John has
a very dark sense of humor and a very weird. It's almost like he wants people to be mad at him. I refuse to ever be mad at him. So he'll do things or make jokes to rile people up and make them call me to then be like, what the fuck's going on? Like Bosco Autry did last night. Wanted to know why he was kicked out, but I was studying for the show, which there was a lot to study for. Red says GM, exclamation point. What is GM?
Good morning.
Oh, good. Oh, she tries to be cool. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. She tries to be hip. No cap, Red. No cap. Tuesday. What's up, brother? Cool girl. Cool mom. Hashtag hot mom. No, you can't use hashtag hot mom anymore because that means something else besides a fit or handsome woman.
Did you take that away from us too?
Hot wife. I used to tag my wife. I used to tag hashtag hot wife in all my Instagram posts that I had my wife in there until somebody was like, do you know what a hashtag hot wife is? And I said no. And now I know what that is. And my wife is not that. My wife is not that. So Armory Knight says, YouTube will not post my comments if I use some words. Good. You know, some words shouldn't be used. We shouldn't have freedom of speech. Hashtag hot wife Michael Hendricks. Oh man, speaking of hot wife, Britney Spears, ultimate troll on Justin Timberlake. I guess the rumor is that Justin made her get an abortion back in the day. Was that it? Right? That was
that was what some rumors that were going around.
The alleged rumors, or she wrote in her memoirs. Well, anyway, he was in the Hamptons this week, or in the SAG area. The SAG area, SAG.
I don't make enough money to know where that is.
Right, I just call it the Hamptons. So he gets a DUI, runs a stop sign, allegedly, swerves, allegedly. Cops pull him over, allegedly. And he gets a DUI. And almost immediately, as soon as the news breaks, which you can see his bloodshot red eyes in his mugshot, and those are like the drunk bloodshot eyes, not the like, oh, I'm tired. No, I mean, that's like super. I mean, yeah, 100% he's drunk in that picture. But she posted a picture on her, I guess it was on her Twitter or on her X, maybe. She posted a picture of a cocktail that she's sitting with.
This one's for you, man.
Yeah. Here's my thing on the whole Justin Timberlake thing. We've all been there. I, back in the day, could have easily gotten a DUI. I don't think I could get a DUI now, present time, because I don't drink out. So it's like, it's very
Uber, Lyft.
It would be really hard for me to get a DUI right now. But back when I was a young man in the military, I drank and drove a lot, way more than any man should. And for whatever reason, maybe I thought it was kind of cool. Like it was a game for me. And this was in my 20s, which is so dangerous and so stupid. And I look back and I'm like, God, I cannot believe I didn't get a DUI. So I don't judge people that get a DUI. But here is my problem with the Justin Timberlake thing is like, you are fuck you rich. You know what I mean?
Does he not have a security bouncer
and you're the
with
same
him?
age as me. You're like damn near 40 years old, Justin. Like, you know better now. Like, that was 20-year-old me, didn't know better, but 40-year-old me, I'm still a peasant, and I will still pay for Uber. I pay for other people's Ubers more than I pay for my own, and I can afford that, and I'm not rich. So what excuse do you have, broski, to be that drunk? And do you not have any friends or like an agent or a publicist or anybody hanging around you? I mean, when I used to travel with the Drinking Bros, our publicist at the time, her name was Arcelli. We kind of called her like the mother goose, the mother hen. She was like very like on top of us to make sure we weren't like sloppy drunk. Does Justin Timberlake not have one of those?
Every time one of these happens, I ask the same question. Did you not have, even going back like when we were younger, did you not have a publicist, a manager, someone running, to carry your bags, someone that does your makeup, someone that does your scheduling, your personal assistant? Which one of the many people of your entourage that you're usually seen with, which one of those people didn't drink that night? Or did you just go to the bar and get shit-faced on your own? Like, were you not out with other people like, look, hey man, you're a mega superstar. Let's not end up on TMZ and Last Call next week. No.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of shitty for TMZ to do that, but I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. He's a ultra celebrity, I guess you would say. So it is what it is. I'm not going to shit on the guy too much. All I will say is get an Uber or call me and I will Venmo you money to get an Uber if you don't have any money. Like, it's crazy. There is no excuse really to drink and drive. And if you're in your 20s, I'm telling you, it's not cool. And nobody thinks it's cool. And it's definitely not cool when you hit and kill somebody. Even if that person, let's just say you're over the limit, but you're a good driver, like you're a good over the limit driver, which some people can act pretty normal when they're that drunk. If somebody else is on their cell phone, swerves out, or if somebody's wearing all black, jogging down the road like an idiot because they're drunk and you smoke them and kill them, guess who gets to go to prison for it? You do. So anyway, Michael Hendricks says he Venmoed money to Michael Jackson to get him off of that island so he can make new music. Oh, you think Michael Jackson's still alive? There's no way. That dude was way too sickly at the end for me to believe that. All right. Well, anyway, there's your Justin Timberlake news. Moving on to more important things. I want to get to the hyperbolic park. By the way, Red and I have this ab contest coming up July 18th, my 40th birthday, showing off our abs. I've already started dieting. Started dieting today after the French toast I just ate with all the berries and the powdered sugar.
It looked delicious.
Now I'm dieting. I'm starting my diet officially right now. And we'll do that. But you got to answer my text sometimes. Red, I needed you for the basketball episode that we did. And you didn't respond to my call. There's nobody that knows women's basketball better than you. So appreciate you, but I don't. Okay. Big news today. This Russia. This is the big news here. And we have, it's faceted. It's like multi-pronged big news. I'm going to get to the hyperbolic part of the multi-pronged news, and then Deadlake's going to go a little bit deeper into it. Red says she's going to start dieting today. I don't believe it. But here we go. So here is the hyperbolic side of the news. Is we told you 2 weeks ago that Biden gave the green light for Ukraine to protect Kiev by firing missiles out of Kiev into Russia, which I think is a fucking weird rule. Like, if you're allowed to fire, I mean, one, if you're a country that's defending itself, you should be able to fire missiles wherever you want. But I guess there's like a lot of rules to war right now. But for some reason, some way or another, and I get it. I understand. I do understand. I just don't agree with it. They have these rules. Well, Russia doesn't like those rules. So Russia does a war game, which America calls routine, but it's not routine. It's way closer. And it's not with dank ships that they have that they're just running war games with. These are both of their most brand new, top of the line, 2020 release of 2021 nuclear submarine and destroyer that have
Window sticker's still
all
on
the
it.
capabilities. What?
The window sticker's still on it new. That's how new
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we have subs that we have lost as of like a year ago. They lost them somewhere up around Canada. Nobody knows where they're at. We covered that about a year ago when they lost those subs. Far as I know, they have not tracked those down. Now, this new destroyer and this new submarine also have like some kind of crazy new technology that they boasted about being ultra silent. So really hard to pick up on radar, so they could disappear too. And then on top of that, so they come in within closer than 30 miles of Florida on their way to Havana. Again, that's unprecedented for a Russian ship to come, that far mainland on the east coast of America. Very, very strange. Of course, they're heading to Havana, Cuba to refuel, do the things. American media is saying that, oh, this is well planned, and they dive in and they don't have warheads. Who went and inspected that? Who went and inspected that there was no warheads or anything on there? Anyway, but what's even crazier about this is that the Kremlin, or from Kremlin News, I should say, has stated that they predict like this war. I guess like the Kremlin, the Russia's media equivalent to our Dan Crenshaw. No, maybe that's not a good one. Who is our military strategist? We have one that I like to pin out. Either way, it's their military strategist. He has predicted that the Kremlin, Putin, is going to strike with nuclear warheads an American naval vessel. And I'll read you that article really quick. Go ahead, because I can't find that article, so just go ahead.
But the other thing about all this is the U.S. media is saying that this is nothing. So this, okay, I'll point out that that's nothing, but are we funding a war against them? Yes. And then they parked their two brand new best, most capable nuclear subs with the most destructive power possible right off the shore of our coast. And that's nothing.
Yeah. So Russia, this is from Newsweek magazine. I don't know why I deleted this from our tabs here. I apologize, but Russian military expert Igor Korchenko, and we've heard that name before. Igor Korchenko, he's done a lot of publicity for Russia involving Ukraine. So I know that that's a crazy long name, but if you listen to, I don't know, Breaking Points, Crystal and Saga, or you listen to, even Russell Brand has mentioned Igor Korchenko before. So you've heard the name. It's not just some like rando Russian name. Suggested on state-owned TV that the Kremlin plans to attack U.S. ships. Now, this is of like June 16th. Late last month, U.S. officials revealed that the Associated Press, the President Joe Biden, has since allowed Ukraine to use American-made weapons, which we covered 2 weeks ago, or planned attacks in Kharkiv, the Kharkiv region. The weapons are only allowed to be used to defend Kharkiv, not Kyiv, but where is Kyiv, Kharkiv? The same thing? Kiev, whatever you want to go. Ukraine's second largest city, and Kiev. So it's Kharkiv and their second largest Kiev. So to protect Kharkiv, they're allowed to launch inside of Russia. Again, C- student at best. I apologize, but I'll get it right. In my opinion, this is a quote from Igor. It says, "In my opinion, there is only one adequate, fast, and effective response to the increased strikes against the territory of Russian Federation with American long-range weapons since Biden U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan have given the green light, and Ukraine's armed forces will carry it out. Total destruction of all electrical generation in Ukraine," Korchenko recently said on state-owned TV, according to an English translated clip posted on YouTube on Saturday by watchdog group Russia Media Monitor. Korchenko then mentioned that Russian warships that conducted drills in the Atlantic are on their way to Cuba, as reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. This is where it gets a little bit scary. The ministry said that the Russian Navy ship and Moscow's Kazan nuclear-powered submarine conducted the exercise to simulate a missile strike on a fleet of enemy ships, which would be American ships. The Russian warships are scheduled to be in Havana from Wednesday until upcoming Monday, according to Cuban Foreign Ministry. The Cuban ministry said that none of the warships are carrying nuclear weapons and said that warships do not represent a threat to the region. Cuban officials, meanwhile, have called the relationship with Russia historically friendly. Now about the arrival of our ships and submarines to Cuba, it was officially stated that Kazan is the only sub that came there as part of the naval group of warships in the Northern Fleet. Korchenko said, in reality, we can guess that Kazan wasn't the only one, but there were a few Russian multipurpose nuclear subs in different parts of the Atlantic Ocean carrying out their task. He continued, this is, I'm getting to it. So these tasks are clear: countering American aircraft carrier strike groups. Of course, if a strike is carried out, as it was stated, several hundred kilometers away against an American aircraft carrier strike group, the strike will be done with special ordnance for maximum effectiveness, speed, and reliability.
So great big old bomb.
Yeah.
We like off the coast of Miami is this sub, and the United States media is saying that this is nothing. That like it's ridiculous, the propaganda that our media is putting out, and to say that the things that they're saying, and then they'll say that this is not propaganda, except it's all propaganda. Like, it's not propaganda. Don't worry about the Russian nuclear sub that we are actively funding their adversary in war. They're parked off our coast. Don't worry about that.
No, I love all the. Oh, go ahead.
But what we did when Gaza was attacked, we took all of our stuff and parked it off that coast. So for everybody on there hey, that's a nothing. It's a normal exercise. We do it every year. You had nothing to worry about here. So when we park our stuff off the coast, it's perfectly fine. And it's part of the exercise to add strength and stability to the region. But if Russia puts a sub off the coast of the United States, it's just normal exercises. I think Russia's trying to project strength and stability for Russia in the Atlantic coast with someone who's funding their adversary in war.
People in the comments say, and of this article say that, to attack the U.S. in any capacity, whether it be attacking one of our destroyers or our carriers or something like that, would be absolute suicide for Russia.
Would it though?
Would it though? And here's a study out of Princeton that I've been following, and I've watched this a few times. I want to play just a little bit of it. Now, the first part of this video, and there's just a weird sound to it. So for you audio listeners, I apologize, but I'm going to paint the picture for you now, and then you can listen to it.
You just have the video portion.
I think for our video listeners, though, it's more exciting with the audio. And it gives you something to listen to instead of just dead silence in your car. What this is showing is that this is a Princeton nuclear war study that's pretty recent. And what it's showing is that if an attack, like the most probable cause of attack would be starting from Ukraine. And then it would escalate from there, from Russia firing into Ukraine. And then all of a sudden, like all the NATO countries launching what they think that they would launch, and Russia and China starting to launch back. So the first part of this starts in Europe, where 34.1 million die almost in the first 45 minutes. Then staging to, in the first about the first 45 minutes, if I remember correctly in the story. And then as this continues throughout the day and the coming days, the 24 to 48 hours of everybody launching. Now, this is like super study generated, obviously these war games, any variable changes the whole entire outcome, and you can't change variables like discussions and phone calls and things like this. This is like coming from if everybody decides we're going to war and we're going all in, this is what it's going to look like, and this is how it's going to play out. And I'm going to just show you how quickly this escalates, because it's terrifying. And this isn't just a study anymore. We're getting really, really wickedly close to this, putting warships, putting submarines into place, We're making moves. We're mining cobalt, which you're about to find out here in just a second. I mean, there are a lot of things starting to fall into place to make this a reality. So here, let me push this video out real fast. Now, if you see the white dots on there, that's the precursor. Those white dots on the Europe side were all the original warheads being fired back and forth to kick this whole thing off. Like basically, Ukraine fires into Russia, Russia fires back, we fire back into Russia, Russia fires back at whoever sent that, which was like France, and then those were all those white dots, or everybody firing back and forth at each other on a local basis with small, just like big missiles, but not like all out nuclear crazy war. We're just talking like maximum, not maximum, but like medium destruction rockets going back and forth. This is like before all out nuclear warheads. Now we're talking about nuclear warheads leaving the United States going through. So here, U.S. You see the submarines off the coast of each one. So in blue is America. Now you see Russia and China. They send back into the United States. And just watch where all these rockets land. And it's a great study. If you want to, you can go to the Princeton simulation, read all about it. All you got their information. It's New York, looks like Washington State, Florida, pretty much get it first. Savannah, Georgia, all of San Diego. Here's the counter plan to that. So those are warheads, again, medium-sized warheads being sent in the United States. And then here's the counter plan going back. This is when it really escalates. And these are the big boys. That's a fuck ton of them. I mean, that is insane amount of nuclear like devastation. Like that's pretty much the whole United States versus all of Europe, with a projected 91.5 million casualty rate in the first day.
A couple people.
And then they're saying that's over a billion when it comes to the fallout and starvation and
we have one of those subs from one of our adversaries sitting off the coast of Miami. But it's nothing. It's nothing. You got nothing to worry about, nothing to look at, nothing to worry about. The NDA went through. If you're a male between the ages of 18 and 26, the draft is going to be out there. Going to make sure that you sign up for selective service, and we're requiring women for the first time in history. Hey, when the 9/11 fell, when the towers fell, and the entire country collectively said, "Yep, let's go kick some teeth in." Did we talk about a draft then? I don't remember us bringing up the draft one time in the last 20 years.
Oh, I mean, they were talking about pulling up a draft for the Ukraine thing, weren't they?
But this is for Ukraine. When 9/11 happened, when
right.
the United States was attacked domestically,
right,
on U.S. soil, and we went to war for the next 20 years because of it. Did we talk about a draft at any point for this war?
No.
So now we're sitting here and we're talking about enacting a draft for Ukraine, for China. What are we drafting for? What's the support in the United States? And it gets, do we want to start digging down the rabbit hole? Or do we want to do an ad read before we get deep, deep, deep?
You know, let's do the ad read and then go deep, because this is my favorite part of the episode that you're getting into, which is
it's nuts.
Where there's some crazy movement of money. There's a crazy movement of warships. And if you put it all together, it almost looks like war is absolutely imminent at this point. And that's why I titled today's show, Things Are Worse Than You Thought. The propaganda train running right now is in panic mode. And we're going to give you the evidence on that. And I think it's just something, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I'm just saying, like, treat every day like the world could change tomorrow.
I've lived my life like that for a long time. Like coming after we went to Iraq, and things that I've seen and experienced in 03 and 04, every day after that is a gift to me.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times that I should have been not here, and I'm still here. So even with my leg and everything else that's happened, I've tried to live my life like that. But when you're sitting in line bitching about traffic for Starbucks, there's a Russian sub sitting off the coast of Miami. like that Starbucks, your entire fucking town won't exist. That's the type of things that we're talking about. Eric's been to war. He's seen it. I've been to war. I've seen it. Do you know what it's like to wake up and not have electricity?
Yeah, I mean, I could put pictures of how beautiful Kabul was before this whole thing kicked off. And then Kabul really looks like Lion King, where it's, where it just was like dark and gloom and gray ever since that it got wiped off the face of the earth. But, it makes it hard to sleep when you're thinking about all these things, but not for me. I sleep just fine at night. And that's because I sleep on a ghost bed and a ghost bed pillow and a massage topper and a cooling mattress. Speaking of massage topper, yesterday, for the first time ever in my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, very short Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu career, that's not a career because I don't get paid for it or anything, but the coach, the black belt coach that owns the gym, UFC fighter, Tim Kennedy's corner man, Delta Force, special operations, combat jiu-jitsu instructor, ultimate badass, very quiet, doesn't talk, asked to roll with me, a white belt, yesterday. Doesn't happen very often. We went 11 minutes and it was brutal. And I woke up, could barely move today. Had to hit the massage topper for an hour. The ghost bed massage topper. Life changer. If you're a first responder and you've got back problems, there's nothing that makes you feel better than just getting off of work, laying down on, you don't have to have a ghost bed to have the topper, the massage topper. You just lay it over whatever mattress you have. Get off of work, go lay on that thing. It heats up, it vibrates, it does all the massaging things. It totally changes your perspective and your outlook on life. It's like a natural Viagra as well. You might feel so stressed out that you're not in the mood. Lay on that for 30 minutes. You're in the mood for a lot of things you didn't know you were in the mood for. You're in the mood to watch a movie. You're in the mood to go play with the kids. You're in the mood to have a little sexy time. By the way, you can't have sex on the massage topper. Can't, because it messes up the massage thing.
Can, or just strongly advise?
It's advised not to do it, and I think it would break it, and it's just not worth it for me to break it. I don't want to break it. I mean, because sex is good. The massage topper is good. I don't want to lose one of those good things. I just want to have two good things in my room: sex and massage topper. So head over to ghostbed.com, use the promo code Wolfpack, and save 50% on the ghost bed topper, the ghost bed mattress. It's 4th of July. These are Bates Men, the good old USA. Surprise that special someone with the gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving, which is a ghost bed. And we don't give gifts on 4th of July enough. I think we should. Speaking of which, today's June 19th. So a lot to celebrate there. Next up, we got factormeals.com/Wolfpack50. 50% off your first order of Factor Meals, meal plan to the next level. It's now time to get back in shape because of the Netflix special with Joey Chestnut. It's back on. I was trying to lose all the weight and trying to get in epic shape so that I could go all in, get motivated by watching Joey Chestnut, eating my hot dog with all the accoutrements, yada, 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 and I not feel shamed about it. And then they canceled it, and I was really upset. You guys all heard my rant on that last episode where I yelled and I screamed and I made an ass of myself. But now it's back on with Netflix. So like a spoiled brat that I am, I always get my way. So the diet's back on. Yeah, and it's going to be great. 4th of July is saved. If you don't think I'm not watching Netflix, the live coverage of Kobayashi versus Joey Chestnut, you're crazy. And Nathan's is not going to get any of my time. I'm not even going to eat Nathan's hot dogs this year. That's how mad I am about this. I am. Well, and I hate Ballpark, man. I love, but I'm going to find some other local kosher dog. I like the snappy kosher dogs. So I'm going to eat Factor Meals from now till then. I'm going to hit that calorie conscious because I'm trying to get lean. I went protein heavy to get thick and big for jiu-jitsu. But now that I got this ab contest with Red coming up, I'm going to go calorie conscious on all my lunch and breakfast meals from Factor Meals. I'm switching gears from protein heavy, which is 50 gram plus of protein, now to calorie conscious, which is like 500 calories, I believe, in these meals. So, so I am going to just really start cutting, and you're going to see it. And I'll show you guys my progress. So head over to factormeals.com, promo code Wolfpack50, chef prepared, fresh, never frozen meals delivered right to your front door. So you don't have to go to the grocery store. You can go on the website, choose from their hundreds of menu items, from breakfast smoothies and shakes to breakfast items to lunch, dinner. Doesn't matter what you do. These, you can get it any way you want. Vegan, vegetarian, protein heavy, whatever you want, delivered right to your door. They're not frozen. They come in these little cooler packs. Put them in your microwave for 2 minutes. Bada bang, bada boom. Start your meal planning today with the pros at factormeals.com/Wolfpack50 for 50% off. That's factormeals.com/Wolfpack50. All right, here we go.
Ruin your day and everybody else's.
Let's ruin the day. So with this whole nuclear, and by the way, for a bunch of C- students at Best Slouches, guess who covered exactly what we covered last Wednesday in their own show and said the same exact thing we said 24 hours after we said it? Who was it that said that? It was
everybody. They were talking about it. Trump was talking with President.
No. What big podcast mentioned that we allowed them to shoot rockets into Ukraine and now they are positioned off of the coast?
Drinking Bros talked about it. Drinking Bros talked about it. It was on Joe Rogan, talked about it. And Impulsive talked about it. It was like on 3 or 4 different big podcasts. They talked about it. I'm just
saying that we were first though, right?
Yep.
We determined that we were first.
And then like 24 or 48 hours later, everybody else was on board.
And it's not that those people listened to us and then regurgitated what we're saying. I'm not that cool. I'm not that deranged that I think that I'm not that narcissistic. What I'm saying is we were right. And they saw the news and they then came up with their own, which we here's what I'm saying is we all came up with the same conclusion. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that we all came up. I just came up with that conclusion first.
Independent.
There you go. Good word. Independently. We came up with it first. Now, here's the part that they didn't see that we've been studying this all week. We were studying it last night. We were going way overhead. You were stressed out this morning from it. You haven't shaved in 4 days because of it.
No.
We've gone down this insane rabbit hole looking for the money. Here's what Deadleg has found.
So it starts with Eastern Idaho. There's been some things all over Twitter, some things all over TikTok.
I said Iowa early, didn't I?
Well, Iowa's included, so you're not completely out. So Eastern Idaho is where this journey for me started because they're talking about taking water reclamation, taking water away, and it's going to affect 500,000 acres of farmland. So that'll kill businesses. There's several farmers that have been on Fox News and other places talking about how this is going to kill their farmland. It's going to kill their businesses. They're not going to be able to make potatoes and all this stuff. I always wonder the why. What's the why? Because my thing I have said constantly over and over and over and over, unfortunately over again, is just follow the money and you'll get to your answers. Want to know where the drugs are coming from? Follow the money. You'll get to the answers. Want to know where this war is going from? Well, follow the money. You'll get your answers. So we sent out a 40 billion, one of the 40. That's why I say one of, because this rabbit hole that this little thread that I've gone down is from $15 million that was just set aside to a company called Jervois, Jervois. And they were set aside to do mining operations in Eastern Idaho for cobalt. Now, why does any of all of this matter and any of all of this have anything to do with anything? Well, I'm going to show a quick little map here. The mine is in the north central portion of Idaho and Salmon, Idaho. And then the production facility is in Blackfoot, Idaho. Well, Blackfoot, Idaho is dead central in one of the 4 of these counties that they're talking about taking the water away from. Now, you want to know what is used in cobalt production and its processes and its refining and getting it from ore into something that we can put out to use for things? Water. Copious amounts of water. So why would, at the same time in Eastern Idaho, why would they want to take water from 500,000 acres of farmland, 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 to divert because they're claiming that it's from a water shortage. At the same time, this has nothing to do with each other. They're completely independent. This mine has been now put back into operation. And I say put back into operation. So I'm going to present a couple things. We're going to go down this rabbit hole here. And this one is Idaho cobalt mining that devastated local raw water is revisited with a greener new approach. Now, we say revisited with a greener new approach, and we wonder why that is. Well, this whole area in Idaho is part of a Superfund site. And if you guys don't understand what Superfund sites, the EPA over the last 30, 40 years has gone out and said, hey, we have screwed up the environment. We've screwed up the country. There's a couple places that have big, long documentaries on how they've there's a place in Oklahoma where a mine was in and a whole city was caved in because of lake went away, and then there's a bunch of problems with it. That was part of a Superfund site. There's this Superfund site up here in Idaho, and it's because mining all of this stuff destroys the environment. And it's funny because all of this, so this $15 million is set aside for this company. And this company, this was put out by the Department of Defense, the Office of Assistant Secretary and Industrial Base Policy. Government has to have an office for everything. Through its manufacturing capabilities, expansion and investment prioritization office entered into agreement with Jervos Mining USA, a subsidiary of Jervos Global Limited, to conduct feasibility studies to expand cobalt mining in Idaho. This is a $15 million agreement entered into with the Defense Production Act, Title III, authorizing utilization of funds appropriated by the additional Ukraine and Supplemental Appropriations Acts will enable Javros to undertake mining resource drilling that will accelerate and improve improved definitions and expand the currently known cobalt resources and the Jervos Idaho cobalt operations. A bunch of words, a bunch of stuff. So there's this $15 million that's going up to Idaho for this all this stuff to this U.S. company. Well, I did some digging. Jervos is not a U.S. company. They are based out of Australia. They have the Nico Young facility. It's a nickel and cobalt mine. They also have a place in Finland, in Kokkola, Finland. That's where they do refining. They have a refining facility that they just took over for nickel and cobalt in Brazil. And then this place in Idaho that they just took over in 2021 is when they assumed responsibility of this. They took it over from a Canadian company. So a Canadian company was responsible for the only cobalt mining in the United States. Again, now an Australian company is now responsible for all the cobalt mining in the United States. But all of this comes back down to why is this all important? This is $15 million that comes from $40 million. And you think $15 million, $40 million, what is all this? $15 million is pennies in the bank when it comes to this $40 million. To illustrate how much of pennies in the bank it is, of that $40 million, 200 of it or 600 of it was set aside, or 2%. Of that 2% that's been set aside, we have a lot of other things that we have been funding with this besides this $15 million that went to Javros. So let me pull the next article up. So we have sent money we have sent $215.6 million to a company in Arkansas, Alabama, and Virginia named Aerojet Rocketdyne to modernize its complex rocket propulsion systems. $45.5 million went to Iowa to bolster high priority aluminum production, to buy and install a new furnace. $13.8 million went to a company that supplies ball bearings to meet the Department of Defense standards. Another there's the $15 million that went to Idaho. And then here down towards the bottom, they talk about another $200 million that was issued to 27 different companies that manufacture critical chemicals that are several steps down the supply chain for manufacturing propellants and explosives. Sounds to me like we're preparing for war. A lot like we are preparing and funding for war. In this article about the ball bearings, we don't have a ball bearing shortage, but ball bearings are used in rockets. And when you want to build a lot of rockets, you're going to need a lot of ball bearings. So you have to bolster your ball bearings. What does all this mean? We are taking your U.S. tax dollars, putting it in a $40 billion thing and sending it to Ukraine. And then we're not asking any questions. They don't want any audits of any of this money to find out where any of it's going. Because of that 40 billion, 2% or 600 million was set aside. And of that 600 million, we found 15 million that's going to go to this cobalt plant and big cobalt in Idaho. They've not done anything. In March of last year, they had halted everything, citing government bureaucracy and red tape. So where's this $15 million? Where's this $200 million? Where's this $600 million? Where's any of your U.S. tax dollars? So let's assume that this does go to what it's saying it goes for. So we're taking U.S. tax dollars to send to Ukraine, to send back to the United States via an Australian company to pay to mine for resources out of U.S. soil to send back to Ukraine to fight the Ukrainian war. Where does anything for the U.S. citizen? The only part in that is you're taking money out of our pockets. You're taking resources out of our land and you're using our labor to do it. And we're sending it all overseas. This is just $15 million. This is $15 million that's gone to nothing. There's nothing that's there. And if we think that this is an isolated thing, I pulled up a completely unrelated article to what we're talking about. But this is completely separate. Biden has spent $7.5 billion to install charging stations across the United States. That's $7.5 billion. In the article, it says that that's enough to pay for 5,000 charging stations. They have built 7. 7. Where is the money going? Where is it all of it going? Because as soon as I start pulling on the strings and I start going down this rabbit hole, my next where I want to go next is I would like to see who in the United States Congress and Senate has stock in any of these companies I just listed, and when did they purchase that stock? Because in the United States, we have problems with, if I tell Eric, hey, the dead leg company is going to go public and we're valued at $10 million, but we're really a $50 billion company. So if you get in early, your stocks will have way more value in a little bit. AKA that's insider trading. So for the United States government, for the Senate, for them, I'm going to point out something that's completely legal. It's definitely not insider trading. It's not insider trading when a U.S. senator can purchase stock in a company that they are on a committee that they regulate. That's not insider trading. This is your U.S. tax dollars. You have a Russian sub sitting off the coast and they are hemorrhaging everything from the American citizen. Hemorrhaging. Go fill up your gas tank. Go put your credit card and fill up your gas tank and feel comfortable just letting the number roll.
How close do you think we are to either World War III or Civil War at this point?
My over-under, if we are not in a hot conflict in the next 18 months, I'll eat my underwear. In the next year and a half, we will be sooner than that. I would bet by August. Well, I mean, they say they call for China. They say that China will take Thailand by 2027. Well, and China's also saying that the United States will perpetrate something to make it look like they're doing it, to try to instigate something, to try to force the hand, because we've never done that before.
Sure. I don't think I see personally, I think that they can't. Personally, I think that they have to do something because of this election coming up. Take a look at this. Biden is he's going quick, and they're panicking. They're panicking. Here's John Luc Pierre Picard Luke. talking about the misinformation, disinformation.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more and more.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation, and so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation. And I'll quote the Washington Post, where they wrote about this, and they said how Republicans use misleading videos to attack Biden in a 24-hour period. And to their credit, we have a conservative Washington Examiner did call them out as well, calling out the New York Post. Ironically, several recent cheap fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. That is what they're attacking the president for. Both in Normandy, this happened, and again in Italy. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how
can you be so fucking stupid to believe any of the shit she's saying? Is there anybody, like, seriously, is there anybody out there that believes anything that comes out of this bitch's mouth? Period. I hate her because, and I don't, you guys, like, like, I don't really care about, like, politicians. I don't know, but, like, for her to be able to lie so much, the Snopes fact check she's referring to is that they referred to the Biden gaffe in Normandy to be misinformation because he wasn't wandering off. He was just going to thank the parachutist that had just landed. Okay, even look, okay, thank you, Snopes. One, thank you. But two, you don't think that's inappropriate during the middle of a ceremony that's about you? That's about that you could just try, like, what if on this podcast I just was like,
listen, you cannot start to criticize the sitting president because then you'll be labeled as far right wing. You can't criticize exactly what you see on, because this is what we can show. You want to see it?
Yeah, sure.
This is the new
working hard to make this a better place.
So this is a clip.
That is what makes me optimistic about the future.
Biden-Harris.
Thank you for coming, and we'll see you in traffic.
So this is
everybody. Presidents.
Thank you. What they put out, and then what has been circulated, and I have both. So they close it out. Biden taking Obama's hand.
Wait, pause it really quick. Dude, it's just so apparent that Obama fucking hates Biden. Dude, he's like never nice to him, never like friendly to him. He wouldn't give him his endorsement until like the last couple of weeks leading up to the election. All the articles back when Biden was vice president, remember when he went to China and his kid went to China and it just royally pissed Obama off. And but you could just tell in these handshakes that Obama fucking you could just tell, man. It would be like if I had to shake hands with, who do I really not like in the media that's like allegedly on my side, like that we're on the same side of the fence. I don't know. I don't really have any enemies.
Dan Crenshaw?
No, I don't really hate Dan Crenshaw. I mean, he's a politician. He's a piece of shit, but like, I don't hate him. I don't really know him. You know what I mean? I don't hate. Okay. Ray Cashcare. I really don't like that guy. If I ever had to like be friendly with him, this is how I would be. I just really don't like. I don't like anything that he stands for or does. You get Jimmy Kimmel, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, okay, all right, well.
This is the question that I will propose.
You know what it is? You know what it is, bro? They're all nervous. They're like, Jimmy Kimmel's like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Like, dude, it's just this whole like, oh God, oh God, oh God. You could just see it.
while we're going to see what is a deep fake, I want you to think, would I get in the car with this person and let him drive?
Fuck no. You got to turn it down.
That just happened. He didn't just stand there for 12 seconds. Obama didn't grab his hand, and he didn't escort him off stage. So you didn't see exactly what you just seen with your own eyes. That didn't happen. This is edited. We edited from their edit, from the edit, from the.
Yeah, that's definitely not. That's definitely not edited. Like, or AI generated. Like that really happened. It was on Biden Harris's live stream, like their own personal live stream. So go play this one.
This is 5 minutes of,
and I don't want to.
So this is edited together.
Choose my words. I was just thinking. Anyway, I just look. I mean, Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah.
This one goes on for 5 minutes.
February.
I mean, we all know this. Like, we all get it. But why is Biden's eyes like solid black? Isn't that weird? Like it's almost like he has no pupils.
Don't start the question thing. You should be a right-wing extremist here by the end of the show.
Jeez. Anyway, Kier, John Luke, Picard, whatever. I hear my point to all that is they can't have an election. He can't be president for another 4 years. Like I'm not trying to be mean either, and I'm not trying to come at the left or go after you guys. You know, I'm not trying to make it a left versus right. I'm just saying like nobody on the left can reasonably think that this guy's got another 4 years left in him. And if you do think he's got enough, if 4 years left in him, then you're an unreasonable human being that probably thinks the moon's made of cheese as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to take your advice.
I don't know how, like, at this point, anything that the White House puts out, I just believe is straight up lie propaganda, because we've proven time and time again that they're trying to push a narrative. They're trying to steer the discussion that he's not an old senile man that loses his shit on stage and has to be held around. They're trying to get that narrative away. What other narratives are they trying to get away when they're telling us that the Russians ship off the coast? That's nothing to worry about. That's nothing to worry about. Biden didn't freeze on stage. None of those are the things when the government tells you not to worry about the things that you're actually seeing. They're telling you the things that you're seeing with your own eyes aren't true. We got a problem. We have a serious problem. I joked before we went live. I said, we need to find a different book, because 1984, I'm not liking this part of the book. We're getting into the dark chapters, and this doesn't go well.
No, it's really it's really scary. So it's really scary. Davey in the chat says you don't like Care Bear Tansy. Is it his ego? Question mark. I don't know. Listen. I just don't like him. I've hung out. I've hung around. Not impressed. I'm not going to go into all the details. I just don't like him. And if I had to be around him, or if I had to do a show with him, would I be like friendly with him? Sure. But like, I don't really respect him or anything that he does or that he stands for. I just think he's full of shit, to be honest with you. But that's just my personal opinion. Look, people hate me too. People think I'm full of shit, and half the time I am full of shit. So who cares? I don't have to like everybody, and not everybody. I was just trying to come up with I don't have like a thing where I'm like out to get him or anything like that. I just, just the boot camp stuff, dude, and like being around him. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. It's like the stuff that he says and does versus the stuff that he posts on social media. It's just not my style, man. It's just not my style. But I'm not like trying to go to war with the guy or anything like that. Like, I don't even know what genre he's in.
You don't open a cobalt mine in his backyard.
Here's a problem. I don't really have beef with anybody at all. So it was hard for me to come up with any name. I'm just saying, out of all the people I've hung out with, if I have to pretend to like somebody, he would be the one that I would probably pretend to have to like for a second. Maybe Adam Ray. Maybe. I don't know. I've hung out with him. Wasn't impressed by him. He said some mean things to me. Seemed like pretty anti-cop when I talked to him. And that rubbed me the wrong way. But I didn't also get to know him long enough to see if he was a good-ish guy. So, maybe I could have said Adam Ray too. But
anybody that you don't agree with on everything, but you need to keep a public face that you guys do get along.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's like if I had to do something, like if I was doing stand-up comedy and Adam Ray was there, I'd probably be like like just shake his hand, like kind of do what Obama did with Biden. You know what I mean? That'd be cordial. Yep. It wouldn't be real. And I'm not saying you guys can't like those people. Like I think Adam Ray has some very funny skits. I think he's a very funny person, and I think he's very good at his job. Very good at his job. I'm not hating him. I'm just not. I'm not going to be friends with him. Probably. Yep. Definitely not going to be friends with Ray Kashgar. Definitely not going to be friends with him. That's just me though. And I get you guys are sensitive because these guys are in the same genre as I am. That's why I was using it. You know what I mean? Because it's in the same genre and it's just weird. But I'm not like I said. I think I still follow both of them too. So it's not like I don't hate them enough to where I'm like gonna not follow them. Does that make sense? I don't know. I like everybody on Drinking Bros. On the network. I'm friends with everybody on that network. Don't really have any bad blood. I don't think anywhere there. But he's the only one that I like pretended to like have to tolerate. Or I just barely tolerated him at most. So, and how many Drinking Bros barely tolerate me? Like there's a lot of Drinking Bros fans out there that just hate Tansy, and that's okay. I don't need you to love me. I got family, got my own love. I got Josh, I got John, lost Kendra, but she's still gonna be around. She's just gone-ish. Kendra's just gone-ish, and then less available, right? And now we've got Kiefer and Two Cops, One Donut Shop. We've got a bunch of stuff coming for the summer. So I've got love and family, and I love all you guys. And I love the Wolfpack so much. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes, Spotify. It goes so freaking far. There's rating and reviews, man. If you haven't done it yet, and you listen to our show more than once, like you're getting free content, just go and leave us a 5-star rating and review, please, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps us out just incredibly a lot. And also support our sponsors. That really helps us too. Thank you guys for everything that you've done. Be safe out there. David J., our Navy boy in the chats. I always worry about you, and keep us up to date. We'll talk to you guys soon. Until next episode, which is tomorrow, sports, guns up, kitty up.
See you.